climate change, man. Like, there's your fucking single issue. Like, this matters 100 million times more than Brexit, or really any of the traditional axes of political contestation.
Are you saying that the White Walkers are coming, winter is coming, and everyone is squabbling with themselves?
Summer is coming.
That's right.
And it's not going to be, I haven't not watched that show, but I understand the White Walkers turned out to be an absolute wet fart in the wind. she just...
No spoilers. Just kidding.
Well,
anyone that would watch it has already seen it.
Yeah, yeah. Because that was several episodes ago, right? But correct me if I'm wrong. She just jumped over and stabbed him with dragon glass, and that was it.
That was it.
Not going to solve climate change like that.
No.
It's going to be a...
You can't stab your way out of this one.
No. The climate goblin.
That seems like a classic American response. Can we stab the problem? Can we just kill it?
Is there some
brute force
central node of leadership that would just magically... Yeah, it's like the fucking...
But that's what people are doing, though. Are there some others we can otherize and blame for all our problems? I mean, come on. That's what the wall and what Brexit is. And you think it's going to get better with climate change? There's going to be more othering, more populations that we could punish for nature and neoliberalism bringing us to existential crisis.
Yeah, you can see as multiple writers, I can't remember at this point who, but a lot of people have been pointing out that the right is starting to accept climate change, even in the United States. And they're going to turn on a dime from, it's not happening, Chinese hoax to exterminate the brutes.
Yes. Yep.
To that we're going to solve climate change.
The friend-enemy distinction very sharply drawn all of a sudden.
Yeah.
And friends are going to be smaller and smaller and enemies greater and greater. And that'll, coincidentally help the military-industrial complex and our imperialist tendencies.
Yeah, it would. But it's also like you see where the psychology is coming from, and you see, it's people are going to react in that way as if you can just protect your own little, fucking, magic kingdom of social democracy and prosperity just by building a big ass wall around it and by just torpedoing the refugee boats who are trying to come in to do your laundry for you or whatever. Right. But that is just like fundamentally inadequate. Europe is less vulnerable to climate change than India, but they're not invulnerable. If the Gulf Stream shuts down, they're fucked. Their climate could change radically. The whole agriculture could be messed up.
Talking about Europe and refugee crises. Okay, do you think there's going to be a few crises of people that can no longer live because their islands are underwater now, or just so many displaced peoples because of climate change? That's going to create a problem for your EU that has open borders, right?
Yeah, that's right. Well, right, open borders within the EU,
quote unquote. Yeah,
Trump's wall around the outside.
Yeah, right.
But I mean, I guess fundamentally. There are these countries that could probably survive just about anything, the far northerly ones. But even them are going to be totally screwed up by climate change and, potentially irreversibly so. I mean, the whole economy is globalized. And
that's right. If
China just vanishes into, desert and internecine warfare, it's going to fuck up Germany. Who's buying all these German exports? It's not like fucking Greece. That's for sure. And so that means, and China is by far the largest source of emissions now, to more than twice as much as the United States. And India is coming up fast. And it's an inherently international problem, and it has to be diplomacy, and it has to be in any realistic way, America and Europe giving a shit ton of money and, like a Marshall Plan type of thing. Yeah. You could even structure it in a way to sort of try to benefit yourself to some degree.
Sure.
But it would, just like trying to build out, above all, I think, number one most important thing is to prevent India from industrializing like China has done. Because if they do that, we're fucked. And the second most important thing is get China to get its emissions down. And that, build a wall, exterminate the brutes. That's not going to do either of those.
That is one response. That's the reactionary response.
Yeah.
And then the complementary one is the neoliberal response. Like, at all costs protect business and free markets and free trade. And we better not, like, as long as we can, Macron and his cronies, we can call them his Macronies, Emmanuel and his Macronies want to protect their interests and their ideal. I mean, they really, I think, believe that their way of technocracy and global capitalism is good, so that they've drunk the Kool-Aid probably. But as long as you subordinate, right, existential crises to that form of ideology, that isn't the answer either. And that's going to lead to not doing these things that require international diplomacy and would infringe on these markets in tremendous ways, right?
Yeah. Yeah, they absolutely would. And
oligarchs have to go, man.
You got to delete like $20 trillion worth of, fossil fuel
that's right.
reserves. And that's, that makes baby market Jesus cry.
No, that's true. I mean, that's $22 trillion, right? That is obviously just captured by a few companies.
Yeah.
That would have to be expropriated, basically. We just wouldn't go to them.
Cannot be allowed to exist.
That's right. It can't come into existence because of what it would do.
It's just like, as Chris Hayes wrote in a great piece a number of years ago, just as abolition was the biggest confiscation of wealth and destruction of wealth.
Destruction, yeah.
In the history of, the United States, at least.
I think that's a great point.
Same thing.
Expropriation of wealth is necessary, but also the prevention of any certain types of wealth even being created. Doesn't even matter who it's distributed to.
Yeah.
Right? That is killing the earth and killing us. So, as we've often said, right, markets should be subordinate to the demos, to the people.
Yeah.
And as long as we think of wealth as being an instrument to serve the good of the humans and the earth, that's fine. But when it's inverted like that, so this is a complex thing that's just kind of scaring the hell out of me, because I don't know if these coalitions in this kind of, I don't know, maybe there's an argument that you should dismantle it all because of how ineffectual it seems to be at taking on something that's kind of train barreling directly right at us, and you're like, these idiots, I can just picture them like on the track, like debating what to do as the train comes barreling at them, right? Like, it just